Okay, tonight Billy is our primary performer, but I am going to give a lightning talk. Tonight's talk is a lightning talk on using Spring AI to generate you a lightning talk. Yes, Spring is offering a new project out there. It is moving out of, well, I'll talk more about in a second. It's called Spring AI. And tonight what we're going to do is beginning a series of lightning talks on Spring AI. Tonight we're going to be talking about prompts. So what is Spring AI? Spring AI is a project that aims to streamline development of applications that incorporate artificial intelligence functionality without unnecessary complexity. So basically taking a lot of stuff that we have in Python and go ahead and move it into Java so we can actually, in Java, actually play with some of the AI stuff. Some of the things it does offer is it's going to have a client AI for being able to access things like OpenAI, I should say Google, Bard, Microsoft, and others. So basically, it's going to give you an interface and a implementation. It's also going to give you something called prompt template. The goal of prompt template is, again, be able to do some prompt engineering, simplify that for you. Simplify access to vector DBs so that if you're trying to do RAG or update your models, you can simply consume messages or consume documents so that you can put them into a vector DB, and then also give you tools that simplify the reading of documentation, PDFs, things like that, be able to suck it in, and a lot more. It is graduating out of experimental, so it is going to be a full-fledged project. We're shooting for first half of next year to do a release of the full project. But with that being said, I ended a little bit early there. We're going to go ahead and start demo time. So the first question we want to ask ChatGPT is, in this case, or OpenAI, is I want to write an outline of a lightning talk on the topic of Spring AI and provide a coding example. Sounds simple enough. But when I go out to go to ChatGPT and I said, hey, I want to, what you got for me? It does a first crack at a outline. Anything we get from ChatGPT or OpenAI, you can usually use it to kind of a way to maybe a kickoff point, but then you're going to do massive modifying on it. But hey, it's something to play with. But when I looked at the examples it produced, they were all wrong. Why? Because, Spring AI is pretty new. And so they don't really produce a really good sample. So how can we do that? So the first thing I want to do is I want to go into use Spring AI to actually generate what we saw here, just a basic example. So how do we do that? Well, the first thing we're going to do is go to start.spring.io. And the first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to make it a Maven project. I'm going to use the 3.2 RC2 release of Spring Boot, which comes out later this month. You must really want to wait for my version update, don't you? So we're going to do io.spring. Well, Pring. Okay, I like to do Spring. And we're going to call it AI demo. And then we're just going to make it a jar and make it Java 17. We're going to click Add Dependencies. We're going to make it a web app. And so we're going to just go ahead and generate a application here. Now we're going to go ahead and unzip that demo. Now that we've unzipped that demo, let's go ahead and take a look. Oh, actually, let me get rid of that right there. We'll unzip it again. Move the trash. You can see I played with this before. And we'll go in and open that again. There we go. Now we'll go to change directory AI demo. ls-al, bloop. And, what did I mess up here? Yeah, no, I was trying to get it to demo. There we go. Let's try that again. All right, there we go. Now we have AI demo. Hey. And we should have everything here. Okay. We'll open up our favorite IDE. And the first thing we're going to do is we'll go to the POM file. By the way, if you see me make a mistake, raise your hand or yell out like BP did, because guess what? I am human. I make a few mistakes here, there, and yonder. Okay, more than that. But the first thing we want to do is to go ahead and add our dependency for Spring AI, because basically Spring AI says, look, what we're going to do is give you a lot of, we're going to auto-configure a lot of stuff for you. In this case, I'm going to be using OpenAI, so it's going to give me an AI client interface, but also give me the implementation. Since this is, we're talking about snapshots, a experimental project, or again, it's been promoted, but we're still using the experimental stuff right for now. We need to pull in from the snapshot repository. We're going to refresh. And then we're going to go to source, main, Java, and we're going to create a controller, Java class, and we're going to call this one Lightning Talk Controller. Okay, zoom in so we can see a little better. There we go. It was more like lightning talk there. But we're going to make it a REST controller here. And then what we're going to do is go ahead and do at auto configure auto wired here. And then we're going to have AI client. Let's go ahead. And then we're going to do a at get mapping. And I'm going to have two endpoints by the end of this presentation, but the first endpoint is just going to be a basic one. So we're going to actually call that endpoint basic. There we go. And it's going to be a public string, and we'll call it basic for short. And then we're going to pass in a string question. And we're going to do this. First thing I want to do is get just a system out so we can see something that's actually doing some work. Answer. Then we're going to do a string result equals AI client dot generate the question. And then we're going to just do an S out of the results so we can see something a little bit nicer than just a regular what comes out on the browser. And then we're going to return result. Okay. Well, let's see that's really truly happening here. Let's do this. The first thing I want to do is I want to set a variable. And basically, it's the key to OpenAI. So the way, I didn't do that. Let's see, it's actually a script here. There we go. And basically, it is Spring AI, OpenAI API key. You'll set that. I just did an echo here so you can see what it looks like. But now we'll do a Maven clean package. And now that it's tested and running, yay, we're going to do a java-jar target. And then what we'll do is say AI demo, there we go. Okay, this is going to start up on port 8080. So the first thing we're going to do is go to localhost 8080. And we're going to say basic, and then you can see I've already asked this question before, write an outline of a lightning talk topic so we don't have to worry about typing all that in. And we can see that we got a result. So yay, but again, the result doesn't, in this case, still doesn't have that example. In the other case, the example is wrong. It depends on how OpenAI feels. It's what it's going to give a response. So now what I want to do is take the next step. I want to give it a prompt so that it gives us a real example. So how are we going to do that? So what we're going to do is fast forward a little bit here. Check my time. There we go. We're going to go look at the completed project, which is going to be very similar to what we already have. And it is, there we go. And it's going to look very similar. Again, you see the basically what we had here, what we had before, but then we have a pro endpoint. The difference is in the pro endpoint, you see that I create something called a prompt template. And in that prompt template, I pass in a map. In that map, it has a question that I pass in that's a keyed off of question. So if we look at the prompt, we can actually look at the prompt and it says, use the code exactly as provided without improvisation to create a coding example of the code for the question. So I give it a real example of what I want to show up. Then you can see where in that template, it's going to take that value out of the map and insert it here. So now I'm kind of doing a little bit of basic prompt engineering to see if maybe I get a better answer. So in this case, we can again see the same results. We get the prompt, we generate the result from the prompt, and then we're going to output that result and then print it to the console. We're going to start it up here. I'll zoom in a little bit here so we can see some real results. And then we'll go back over here. We're going to change it from basic to pro. Hit that endpoint. And again, once again, we see that we're generating an answer. And as it generates the answer, we wait for the bits to come in. Come on, bits. You want, okay, here we go. We get the result, but then we get the same kind of template as we had before, the same outline, blah, blah, blah. But now what have I done? I've told it what I want to see for the example. So in this example, what we see is that we can use Spring AI to go ahead and help us easily access OpenAI. Not only have we already seen that, we can see how we can use the prompt template to actually go in and coordinate how we want our results coming in. In the next talk that I'm going to give on this topic, we're going to use VectorDB to do the same thing, but use RAG to be able to, again, kind of engineer the results that we want to get back from the OpenAI engine. And to just finish off the talk here, let's go back up to this. If you want to see the example that I have, you can go out to my repo, take a look at what I have here. It's a basic example. And again, we're moving out experimental to a real project. And there we go. All right, that was a lightning talk. Meta, did I do okay on my time? Okay, so 10 minutes. There we go. All right.